The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
This is SeeingEagles.com. I'm Matthew Osborne. She is Carson-Newman swim coach Paige McCord as her Eagles get set to face the Tornado of King and the Wasp of Emory and Henry this weekend in Northeast Tennessee as you travel up to Kingsport. First off, Coach, we'll kind of talk about your successful weekend down in Florida. You spent a whole week down there. You get 2 BMC Swimmers of the Week in Cortland Fields and Paul Unger. Really, your freshmen really showed up that weekend down against the Mount Union Purple Raiders.
Absolutely. Cortland had some of the best swims of the season for her. Of course, she's still a little broken down, not yet tapered, but that definitely bodes well for the future conference and her taper. I think that we got some great racing also. Davis Vincent specifically did really well in his backstroke, really coming along, especially towards the end of this year, stepping up. And there's several others too. Andrew Wheeler, he's really kind of an exciting young man for us. He does the 100 fly, 200 fly, but the 100 fly meaning he can do the sprint side, and then also the 500,000, and maybe potentially the mile. So that's a kind of a strange mix of events, but he does them very well for us. So really excited about what he's doing and his development so far. Really a very strong freshman. And then another one that came through would be Ben McCrary. Ben McCrary is nursing a little bit of an injury, but just being so tough through it. And he had a stellar 200 free down there, ended up winning the whole thing and going really close to a lifetime best. Did fantastic. And he, again, is set up for a really strong taper come second week of February. So those people, there's several others that have contributed. Another name that comes to mind would be Maggie Melhorn. Maggie was sick actually earlier in the season, so she's just now come up to race and her full potential. So really exciting. And then of course, just the whole squad of freshmen, sophomores, and a few juniors are really putting together some great swims for us. And it's all, of course, just leading towards conference. So I like what we're seeing, and I know the team's anxious to get to conference. So.
You bring up all those freshmen. What do you think it's been for them? Do you think it took them a few minutes to get a few months to get acclimated really to that schedule you have set up? I know it's grueling on their bodies and their minds, but do you finally think this is the chance, the second semester of the year, where they turn that corner?
Sure. I definitely think so. And finally, they're getting a little more rest, too, just now. But I think that the main reason is we have the opportunity now to work with them on some of their technical things. Just today, a young man named Josh Graves, we were finally able to teach him the next step in his butterfly progression, which he hadn't yet been ready for until now. And he went 2 seconds faster just in practice. So and that would be the story with all of them, that we're able to teach them the next level of their technical understanding, which is really important for us. And so, they come from wherever they were working before and did really well, and then we just progress them along further. So it's just a time thing and experience. But also, you add into that the technical instruction, which is really strong. I love my great assistant coaches that really help in that area. We do a lot of video training, and that's very beneficial as well for the athletes to see. And also, of course, when Sheila Turnimi came up, that was a huge help to explain it to the athletes. So sometimes it takes a little bit to put all those pieces together, but I think they're finally starting to get it, and it's really nice across the board. Our athletes are starting to swim cleanly, and now we're going to swim fast, so it's nice.
Progressing to this weekend, you get King and Emory and Henry. The women's side will be a tri-meet. Emory and Henry and King both filled women's teams, but the men, it'll just be you guys and the Tornadoes from King. Right. What are going to be the keys this weekend? You always talk about the relays, always getting good jumps. What will be the key this weekend against those two squads?
Right. Oh, man. Actually, this specific pool is very similar to our conference pool. And so the key is our relays for sure. However, we also swim a race that we have an opportunity to do very rarely, such as the 400 IM, and I think that'll really be strong for our IMers. I know Cortland Fields and Nancy Claire will benefit from that for sure. Lastly, I think one of the benefits is we're only going to do the 200s. We're not going to do any of our 100s, so it's a shorter meet. It won't go quite as long, allow our athletes to really focus on a lesser amount of events and just try to swim that technically correct, even in a semi-broken down state, and really learn to race that once more really well before we go fully rested at conference. So
Good luck Friday evening against King and Emory Henry.
Thank you much.
Carson-Newman swim coach Paige McCord. I'm Matthew Osborne, and this is SeeingEagles.com.
Easy?
Easy as pie.